how are you? My name is Gael. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I am going to be challenging myself to do a full glam in 45 minutes or less. Now, this sounds like it should be something fairly simple to do. However, I really like to take my time when I'm doing my makeup. I like to take my time to make sure everything's blended how I want it to be, make sure everything looks as crisp and clean as I can possibly make it. And that's fine when I'm doing my own face. However, when it comes to working with clients, I feel like a lot of times people don't really understand why I take as long as I do, or they don't have the patience, or they don't have the time. And I mean, just because I'm passionate about it, in the sense that I don't mind taking as much time as I need to, and I do try to be clear about that, it doesn't mean that necessarily the clients share that same passion as I do. And that's completely fine. I'm here to do a service. One of my goals for this year is to really make sure that I'm improving when it comes to doing makeup for clients, and part of that is kind of decreasing the amount of time I take to do a full face. Right now, I think when I'm doing makeup on myself, again, I take as long as I need to. Could be an hour and a half, could be an hour, could be 2 hours, depending on how detailed I'm trying to be. It could go beyond that depending on if it's an editorial look or not. Really depends on the look. For clients, usually I take anywhere from an hour 15 to an hour 30. I think my ultimate goal would be if I'm just doing a regular glam type of look, to be somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. So that's why I say I'm going to try to do my makeup in 45 or less. I already kind of laid out everything that I need, just because I feel like having everything laid out beforehand and having a clear idea of what you want to do really helps to kind of minimize the amount of time that you take when you're working on a client specifically, and just in general. I'm gonna start a timer for 45 minutes. Okay, let's get started. To start, I'm just going to be going in with some brow gel. I don't know, I haven't really properly gelled my brows down in a hot minute, but I feel like they're getting a bit long, so. Now I'm just going to go over with a little bit of loose powder. It's in a shade that's kind of similar to my skin tone. It's the Chanel Universal Powder in the shade 121. So while I let the powder settle a little bit and the gel settle a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and put on some primer. I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. I apologize if you hear any background noise. I have a lot of family. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some concealer on my eyelids just so I can get started on my eyes. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon. I am doing a matte look today, so I'm going to be using the matte concealers. Just gonna kind of go underneath my brow as well, because I know that I like to kind of highlight under there. I'm just gonna drag that concealer up a little bit. Even though I didn't technically outline my brows yet, it'll just kind of already be accentuated when the time comes for it. Actually, I think I do kind of want to get started on my brows, just in case I don't like the shape of it. I can change it with concealer. I'm using the Juvia's Place Luxe Liner in the shade Coffee Bean. Back in with some more concealer to kind of really clean things up a little bit. It's not too bad, but I prefer a cleaner look. And I got concealer on my hands, so I'm just gonna put that there. Here too, actually. Just for brows, already have 35 minutes left only. Try to speed up a little bit. Going to be using the ColourPop Rock On palette. I think I want to do kind of a brown, just kind of smoky type of look to it, or not really smoky, but kind of I don't know, just a brown look today. I'm going to be using the shade Trail Mix right here on the lower part of my eyelid. I I wish these had a mirror. I feel like that would be so helpful. Gonna go up a bit towards the top because I really want the bulk of the eye to have this kind of dark brown shade. Okay, just cleaning off the excess a little bit. And with this same kind of fluffy brush, I'm going to be going in with a Rock My World to soften up the edges. I kind of want to use this brown eyeliner I've had for a minute. It's from LA Colors. It's a liquid eyeliner, but I also don't really know how it'll show up on my skin because it's kind of like a light brown. I feel like it might end up just looking black on my skin anyway, but we shall see. I'm just using this palette for a mirror. I'm already messing up with the liner. Yeah, I feel like you can't even really tell that it's brown on my skin tone. Like you can see a little bit, but not enough to really be worth it in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to end up just like cleaning up the liner when I do my under eye concealer. But I think for now, it's fine. For the base, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 360 Mocha. I have been in love with this foundation and this shade for years now. And just beforehand, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Super Fix Ultra Matte Finish Fixing Spray or Misting Spray. Okay, now I'm just going to go back in with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I don't know. I think I want to use Rich Chocolate today though, instead of doing Deep Cinnamon. I know I used it before underneath my eyebrows and on my lids to highlight and to act as a primer for my shadows, but I don't know. I kind of want to use Rich Chocolate today, which is kind of closer to my skin tone. It's a bit more neutral of a shade, but I think it's cute. And for contour, I'm using the Black Opal True Color Skin Perfecting Stick Foundation. I use the shade Snatched Sepia. A little bit here, a little bit here. Why not? Do under my jaw as well. And setting spray again, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Sport Fix Fixing Spray. Just blending in the concealer. Sorry, I'm like so quiet. I'm really trying to make sure that like I do this well. I currently have 20 minutes left. Really, I'm glad that I decided to use Rich Chocolate today. I don't know, I kind of just like the more kind of, I guess, less accentuated vibe today. I think it's beautiful. Just cleaning up the eyeliner as well. Now I'm just going to go back in with my bronzer brush. With my contour brush, I'm not adding any more products. I'm just using the excess to kind of blend in some of those areas where my concealer kind of brought it up a bit into my cheekbones. Just kind of wanted to blend that area a little bit. For blush, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Copper Etiquette. It's kind of like a muted peach a little bit. It's so cute. And back in with setting spray. Just kind of blending that in to my contour and a little bit into my concealer as well. Just making sure that everything really meshes together. Oh, that's gorgeous. Kind of leaving it towards the tops of my cheekbones, not trying to drag it down necessarily too much. I don't play when it comes to setting spray, y'all. I will spray as many times as I feel like I need to really have everything like set. I'm just gonna set underneath my eyes now. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Medium Deep. Just going in with a fluffy brush, not a big one, just like a kind of medium-sized fluffy brush. Now I'm gonna bronze. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear in the shade 550 Deep Dark. Just kind of trying to use the light hand everywhere that we contoured before. And now I'm going to use a smaller brush, not dabbing too much, just to kind of do kind of shape my nose. I don't really do too much to my nose. Now I'm going to go back underneath my cheekbones and do some reverse contour. Oh gosh, I feel like time is already escaping me. Done with the setting powder. I'm just gonna go back in with my Chanel Universal powder in the shade 121. Use any powder that's kind of like similar to your skin tone. I'm just gonna get a little bit from the lid, not too much. We're just really gonna dust underneath in all the areas that like kind of have a lot of product there, or where you feel like just need to be blended a bit. Like I would blend between where my bronzer meets the setting powder or the highlight on my forehead. Like blend areas like that. I'm not going to go in with a powder blush today because I don't really own a powder blush that's similar to the shade that I used before. And also I feel like it's kind of cute. I kind of like how it is right now. So like I kind of just like did a very light dusting with the brush that I used the Chanel powder for. I just did a light dusting in those areas. Very light. Don't change the shade or anything. Just kind of making sure that it's set a little bit. Just using any excess powder that's on my setting brush as well and going back over that kind of like under eye area and make sure everything meshes as well. 9 minutes left. I'm just going to go in with a black liner and I'm going to do my waterline and like this top little area right here. I really need to find out what that's called, but I don't know. Now I'm going to go back underneath my eyes with Trail Mix. I'm just kind of gonna smudge underneath my eyes a little bit. Just kind of smoking it out underneath the eyes. Now I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris Panorama Mascara. Bruh, 5 minutes left already. Okay, for lips I'm using the About Face Beauty lip pencil, matte lip pencil in the shade Smoked. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balm in the shade Vanilla Toffee. And no product wants to come out. Great. Okay. And my rubber band just broke. Oh my gosh. 3 minutes left. I'm just going to be using these lashes that I got off of Amazon. Just make sure that it'll fit my eye. This might be a little too big. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna put some glue on. I just broke one of the lashes. Okay. Gonna apply glue to the other one. I have 3 seconds left. Yep. Okay. That's time. You know what? Let me see. Now I'm just gonna see, I guess how much more time it takes for me to like do my lashes and stuff. And of course now this lash doesn't want to stay on. I'm over time. I'm over time. We're already at like 3 minutes and some change, almost 4 minutes over time. While I let my lashes dry again, I'm going to do my lip combo how I'd actually want to do it. So I'm going to use the Ruby Kisses Butter Balm lip gloss to kind of line that area where we put Smoked before. Okay, that's a lot better. Just gonna take a little bit of highlight, not too much. I surprisingly don't want all that much highlight today. Just gonna take a little bit of highlight and put that on the tip of my nose and on my nose bridge. I actually really love this look, despite the fact that it's been stressing me out and I am definitely over time. I'm looking at the timer right now, or the stopwatch right now, and I've already added like an extra 8 minutes to the time, but it's okay. We here. Just gonna take my old setting brush again and just kind of blend out some of that highlight. Oh, this is so pretty. I like this. This is cute. This is cute. This is a vibe. I'm just gonna do a little bit on my forehead again. See, I said I wasn't gonna do a lot of highlight, and look at me doing a lot of highlight. I'm just gonna go in and kind of like quickly press to make sure that like they're kind of really stuck together. I'm just going to do a final spritz with setting spray. I kind of wish I went for a softer lash, but I have just gotten these ones from Amazon and I think they're actually really cute. I feel like this is like definitely like a baddie going out type of lash. I kind of want to choose like something like more natural today, but I guess why not? We here. All right, so this is stopwatch. So 12 minutes and 31 seconds. In addition to the 45 minutes that I originally challenged myself to have. So that's basically an hour it took me to do this look. Definitely have a long way to go in terms of like, you know, kind of bringing down that time a little bit, but I'm happy with how it came out. I really want to find a balance between like, you know, kind of getting that perfectionism like to be appeased and kind of making sure that like I do everything like to the best of my ability and kind of like making sure that, you know, I I kind of still have that like attention to detail that I know that I have, while also kind of just making sure that I am being time efficient, or not really time efficient, but kind of meeting the client's needs and making sure that, like, you know, people, if they got to go somewhere, they, you know, they don't have to worry about sitting in my chair for 2 hours, like, to have their face done. Like, if they want it done in 45, I can do it in 45, I can do it in 30. Because realistically, this isn't that, like, kind of intricate of a look, but I don't know, I like to take my time, guys. I like to take my time. I like to blend. I like to make sure that it looks like super perfect as it can possibly be. I want to make sure that, like, I'm not rushing, I don't mess up or anything like that. But you know, we here. So challenge fails. I challenged myself to do this look in 45 minutes and I got it done in 57 minutes and 31 seconds. So she cute though. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys come back next time.